Hello, and welcome to another installment of Guys Night Reviews. Guys Night's actually feeling a little Jurassic today. So, in honor of Jurassic World, we're going to be reviewing the Jurassic Park trilogy thus far. So, again, I'm joined with Cadillac, Keels, Rashawn, and Newman.
And the Raptor Puppet.
And Clever Girl. So, let's get started. We're going to be doing our first review of the 1993 classic, Jurassic Park. Okay, story about Jurassic Park. It's 1996. I'm watching this VHS for Beethoven's Second, and this gentleman says the most phenomenal discovery of our time becomes the greatest adventure of all time. People in shock and awe, a giant eye that dilates next to a girl. That was my first introduction of Jurassic Park. Had the VHS as a kid, watched it non-stop. It's a classic. It's hands down one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, it's amazing. Sam Neill, Lauren Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Nedley, who's played by Wayne Knight, Samuel L. Jackson, B.D. Wong, who will be in Jurassic World. Altogether, these talents come together. The premise of the story is that there's a man by the name of John Hammond, played by the late Richard Attenborough, who, after an incident on the island, has to prove to these people and the lawyer, that this island filled with dinosaurs is safe. And in that, you embark on this adventure where there are characters and relationships that develop, along with the mix of man corresponding with nature. With that, I have to say Jurassic Park is a perfect movie. I mean, correction, a perfect film. I mean, I love it to death. What do you guys have to say about Jurassic Park?
Well, it's in my top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
It's like probably my list goes Dark Knight, Batman, Jurassic Park, Jaws, and Rocky. I think Jurassic Park is the perfect movie experience because we weren't around when dinosaurs were around, so like for that 2 hours, you feel like a little kid all over again, and that's why I'm excited for the new one. I can't wait.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't for dinosaurs, even though they were shown on screen before Jurassic Park in '93, I feel like dinosaurs weren't truly brought to life until this movie came out.
And for over 20 years ago, the graphics or whatever they used, it's
special effects. Yeah, Stan Winston and his special effects actually, it's the combination.
For '93, that's
amazing.
Really, really good. All these years later,
it was Stan Winston and. The first, for animatronics, they actually built dinosaurs. Like the giant T-Rex on set, that entire sequence was a mixture between CGI and practical, and the practical was giant T-Rex.
Jaws,
one of my favorite movies, because it's just like a movie roller coaster. Just look at the beginning, it gives you a little taste of thrill with the silhouette of the raptor.
Oh yeah.
And it kills one of the workers.
Oh yeah.
Then it gears down and character building, seeing how the characters interact with one another, and all these beautifully shot scenes, the long neck
Brachiosaurus, with the John Williams score, which is amazing. Hands down his best work.
Gives me chills.
And then gradually comes up to arguably one of the best scenes in the movie. It comes into the
T-Rex.
Boom!
It's iconic.
Boom! And then all you see is the king of the dinosaurs, the T-Rex.
It's like, what happened to the goat? And then
boom! And it just stays on high for the rest of the movie. So I love Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is a great movie. Just a little issues with it. Little issues, only little.
Like what? Like what?
The issues.
What issues?
Which is ridiculous.
Just that everyone in the movie is still stupid.
I can agree with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Some of the decisions they make are stupid.
Thank you.
Yeah, I need to hear
I would
this.
I would go in a heartbeat. That's just me.
One thing, they didn't do their dinosaur research that well because no dinosaurs should get sick from the plants on the island if you did this correctly.
Oh, the lilacs, yeah.
Exactly. If you did that correctly, you wouldn't have got them sick. B, you wouldn't have made raptors.
It's an attraction,
It's all
yeah.
part of the attraction.
It's
I
a
mean,
part of the attraction.
but see it this
you
way,
limit,
like-
but you limit the number of raptors you make.
The San Diego and Philadelphia Zoo,
three,
like,
right?
we have tigers in there. They're vicious creatures, and we have them.
Yeah, but that's a whole different ball game.
Born too.
But that just goes into, you know, John Hammond just doing whatever.
I spare
you know.
no expense.
Like Jeff Goldblum's character said, you know, he was like a kid who found daddy's gun and he went crazy with power, you know, and then, you know, the ice cream scene, which you're probably going to talk about, right?
Yeah, the ice cream scene, actually going back, a shout out to J Media. He actually made a good point that when he's eating the ice cream, it's actually a prologue scene because he's an older man who had this vision of these dinosaurs coming to life. But as an older man, just like the ice cream, because the power came off, it's melting. Just like how his dream is melting.
Yeah.
That, to me, like, it just brings the other layers into the movie. And another thing is, even the attraction for Tim and Lex, I like to call it the boy who escapes death.
Like 6 times.
Oh, jeez.
I got a question for you guys.
Alright.
What is the better scene? The T-Rex, when you first see the T-Rex scene, or the raptor scene when they're in the kitchen?
All right.
That's
T-Rex.
I love the scene
T-Rex,
too when she's
yeah.
What? I'm going with the raptor. When he
Yeah.
opens the door?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'll put it this way.
I think I go with the raptor.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex, that entire sequence, now, they say that when you're young, you don't remember this. I vividly remember,
So do I.
at 3 years old, that entire sequence, and it's perfect.
It's
the pacing is
close.
perfect.
It's
There's
hard
no
to-
musical score. It's just built on tension. And then when he gets the lawyer and he just has him on the toilet, he just
Yeah.
sits there looking like,
You gotta go. You gotta go.
go! And he eats them. And even the peril of the kids, like, these kids are actually in danger. You
And she's
feel
like,
that.
he left us. He left us.
And let's not forget, don't move. He can't see you if you don't move.
Yeah.
The thing with the kitchen, because it just cuts like, as long as they don't know how to open doors, and then
Yeah.
it cuts back, and then he opens the door.
Well, what about?
And you see the claws, like just the massive claws of
And
the
it just
Velociraptor.
it feels like the raptors know that the kids are there because they're communicating with each other. You see the eye go like, yo, they're over there.
Mm-hmm.
and then
So-
the one scene when they're in the kitchen, the raptor sees like the girl and
Oh, the
charges
reflection?
full speed.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
a
just a
mirror.
reflection.
Yeah.
That was really clever. That got me the first time.
Another scene that like sticks out in memory bank is definitely, and this is why I consider it like Jurassic Park, my childhood. I'll never forget the ending of Jurassic Park, where it's the two Velociraptors,
Yeah.
and they're like, you can tell that they're communicating, and they're like looking at each other like, we got him, and you just see, and then the one is just about to approach. Now, funny story is that the original ending in the book is the skeleton actually falls on the raptors and that kills him. Then they did a working ending where Muldoon, who clever girl guy, die like he doesn't die, he actually comes in with the shotgun and saves the day and actually like gets them and gets them to safety. But Steven Spielberg, the genius that he is, said we have to bring back the T-Rex. So he wrote in the scene that you're not even going to see how he comes in. The T-Rex just comes in right when the Velociraptor's about to get him and just yanks him and says, no.
He's almost the good guy.
He's the good guy at the end. And then it ends with when dinosaurs ruled the earth. It's just so amazing.
He does the big roar.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
just
caution tapes falling down.
life.
Two of my favorite scenes though are the scene where the girl's eating the Jello and she sees the reflection of the raptor.
Exactly.
And
It
it's
sets
like,
it up
she's like-
perfectly.
and that, and then the clever girl is probably my all-time
Wait,
favorite
let's
scene.
not forget Dilophosaurus. You
Oh,
know,
the poison.
yeah,
That
Wayne
kills
Knight.
Newman.
Yeah, Newman.
Fat Newman.
Yo, that scared me as a kid.
Yeah,
With the little...
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wayne
that's
Knight.
Yeah.
Exactly, with the fangs.
that's gotta
and
be the
everything.
worst way to go. Like getting poison on you and then just like
It
the
eating
thing
you.
killing
It's
you.
yeah. They actually, James Cameron. It was in the script that he said that he was actually one of the choices, top contenders for director, but he said it would have been a loads darker.
Yeah. Well, PG-13 is just so
Yeah.
everyone can see it.
Yeah.
So I think with that, if we want to talk about a darker movie, let's definitely mention The Lost World Jurassic Park, which came out in 1997, the follow-up to the classic Jurassic Park. Now, with this one, it brings back Jeff Goldblum, and you're introduced to the new characters of Julia Moore, Vince Vaughn. This is what I like to call the celebrity Jurassic Park. It's very 90s heavy with celebrities.
Can we talk about
Yeah.
the cast?
Of Lost World?
Yeah, I feel like
Vince Vaughn was cool.
Yeah,
No.
in his first...
What?
I like Vince Vaughn. He was alright before his comedic stage. Like,
Or the
He has a good moment.
I feel like they were just there.
scene where the girl was doing gymnastics against the ref.
oh my! All right,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have to
talk
talk
about
about.
That was a little
Okay, so
laughable, but
clearly
I
in the
still
first
liked it.
movie, the Velociraptors are
Way
these smart,
smarter.
intelligent creatures. You get to Lost World, I'm like, I think there was a bump in the road when it
Struck
came to like, these are
what
clearly
about
the
three?
prototype raptors. The premise of this one is that it's not a survival movie. It is, but it's not. It's a rescue mission. Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm, has to go back to the new island, Isla Sorna, as opposed to Isla Nublar of the first movie, to rescue his girlfriend. And in the process of that, InGen has this idea, led by John Hammond's cousin, to take the dinosaurs from the island to San Diego to create a new Jurassic Park. Now, even as a kid, I don't particularly... This gets a lot of rap, but I don't hate this movie. I don't even dislike it. But it's not as good as the first movie, clearly. Even as a young kid, I love the fact that these dinosaurs are free now. And I love the fact that they're out in the open and there are no fences. There are sequences that I like the Velociraptor scene in the tall grass. It's my favorite death in the trilogy. A lot of the deaths in this actually, it has my favorite deaths in all three movies. I will say that. Lost World does have a lot of great death scenes, but the substance is that you really don't care for these characters. There's not a lot of like, oh man, like I really feel bad when so-and-so died.
What was the scene? Remember
heck?
the scene with the waterfall? They're like hiding behind the waterfall.
Oh,
that was a good
T-Rex,
scene.
And the
Yeah.
snake comes out, and I
he
think the
runs out.
T-Rex gets him.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he runs out of the
But there were
cave.
T-Rexes on the outside.
That was
of the
another. See how
waterfall.
many like cool scenes there is?
Yeah.
And then all the water turns red.
Yeah, it's a lot
Oh,
of.
it gets dark.
It's the darkest one. There's a lot of.
This one is very nature heavy. I have to say Lost World Jurassic Park is a very like mother-father as to baby story when it comes to nature, because the mother and the father T-Rex, that sequence when they're in the trailer and they're pushing them off the cliff,
Yeah, that's
tension.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's a great sequence, but I mean it's definitely ripping off the first T-Rex scene. It was like, how can we go over the top? This movie, Julia Moore's character just pissed me off. Every stupid mistake. Hey, what's a great idea? Let's bring,
That
you know what,
baby
first?
T-Rex.
T-Rex in the
That's
trailer.
one thing I don't like about the movies. They really blame the
Yeah, they do, and I mean, like, but she just makes non-stop stupid mistakes. Like, hey, let's photograph and mess with the baby Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
Hey,
Who's
if that's not enough, let's go get the baby in the trailer. And if that's not enough, let's hang my jacket over the tent with the T-Rex
with
blood.
blood all
And if
over it.
that's not enough, let's bring this baby T-Rex back to San Diego.
Can't fire it up.
Now, who's worse? Julianne Moore's character playing her mother.
We'll
Wait,
save
which
that
one's
for when
the-
we get to Jurassic Park 3. That's
Yeah.
all I have to
Yeah,
say.
I gotta say.
Cadillac, anything you want to say about it?
One of my favorite scenes in Lost World is when the two T-Rexes were sharing that one guy. They're like tossing him around in the air.
Oh.
Eddie.
Ripped
I
him
love-
right in half.
That was awesome.
Dang.
That was a good death.
Poor Pudgy Man.
Yeah, poor
Oh,
him,
that
but
was the
that was a
Lady in the Tramp scene, right?
Yeah, the Lady in the Tramp death.
Nah, the best part is at the end when the T-Rex is let loose in the city. I think
Oh,
that's like the
yeah.
coolest part ever.
I love how
It follows like the baby home. They like the ship's coming in and crashes. Like everyone's dead on the
Somehow
ship.
it kills the whole crew.
Yeah.
The whole crew except the one hand on the boat.
Like that's like I wish that would happen now. As sick as that sounds, I think that'd be awesome to see a T-Rex on the loose. Like you just
Now-
like go out back, see him like taking a drink out of my pool.
The thing about that, like, I just...
How is it possible?
How are you in a neighborhood and nobody comes out?
I don't know.
Like, I don't get that.
In real life,
Now, Rashawn, you said this is actually your favorite of all three.
Yes,
Explain.
Why?
it is the most enjoyable.
I think I kind of agree with that.
Now,
Thank you.
I'm not gonna say
There's
that-
so many fun parts.
I'm not gonna say that it's better than the first, but you know, you might think I'm crazy, but I think this is a suitable sequel. I
Yeah,
think
this
that's
is definitely one of the best.
It's definitely a
I did
good
enjoy
sequel,
it.
but I mean, it's just not better than the first movie.
But it does have two factors that the first one doesn't have.
What?
It's got, you know, when they're all capturing the dinosaurs, you kind of feel sorry for the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And, you know, gets to San Diego and it's just running loose.
It's more of true to real life because you have people who would actually do that. You would have hunters go to an island, go hunt down these dinosaurs and either sell them or use them
and
for
bring
their
them to
own.
the U.S. and everything goes completely wrong.
It's what people do nowadays in Africa. Go hunt, get the deadliest game message.
The best, like...
PETA. You listen to PETA?
Yeah. I think the best edge of your seat moment is when the trailer's dangling off the cliff and the girl is like on the glass.
Oh, and it's like
every
cracking
little
right
movement,
there. Yeah.
That had me like...
That was a good...
That was one of the best scenes like ever. I think.
Yeah.
That was
Jurassic
intense.
Park 2, Lost World has its own, like, thrilling scene.
And it's very dark. Like, I love how Steven Spielberg, like he said, like he wants this to be different than Jurassic Park. I love how the theme is just not even like really played, like throughout the movie. Like the classic, like there's of course the dun 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 dun, but there's not the like somber. This is a very dark sequel if you think about it. Like,
It is. Because, you know, it's like a red, dark jungle.
yeah.
So then the one
No
who gets
lighting.
eaten by the little guy.
The combies.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Those things creep me out as a
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, and the girl in the beginning.
That's almost scarier. It's like piranhas almost. Like,
Yeah.
They took a little too long getting to the girl.
Yeah, that is
They
true.
were screaming. Honey, what's going on? Still screaming.
This is why I like. This is why I like this in the second. This is my favorite one.
Now, unfortunately, unlike Lost World Jurassic Park, one movie that is not dark is its sequel, Jurassic Park 3.
That is one big pile of shit.
Sam Neill reprises his role as Alan Grant again to come back to Isla Sorna after the Herbie family have a missing child, which is not known of until after they get to the island. And the reason for why Sam Neill's character comes back is because he wants to save his foundation, similar to the first movie. It's like they just recycled that script. But beside that, you're introduced to new dinosaurs in this one.
Spinosaurus.
Yeah,
Pterodactyl.
Spinosaurus.
Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls,
Yeah.
finally.
Finally.
It has its plus. Let me talk about the positive, the good, before I get to the bad. Now, Jurassic Park is not directed by Steven Spielberg. It's directed by Joe Johnston, okay? And who said himself during the first movie he wanted to do a Jurassic Park movie. You already know there's a problem when you find out that they filmed the movie before the script is done.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. On top of that, I mean, it's the shortest of the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah,
It has the
it's like an
least
hour and
amount
a
of
half.
deaths. Yeah.
Sure.
And as a bonus, they do the one thing that just broke me as a child. They killed my hero, the T-Rex.
At least it's something different, though.
But that's the thing. Sometimes
have to
change
switch it
is
up.
not
The
good.
T-Rex deserved it because of the people he killed.
Practically speaking,
He
that
was a
fight should have been
baby.
over when the
was-
T-Rex bit the
baby
neck.
still killed the John Hammond's cousin.
When talking about Jurassic Park 3, yes, we have to talk about how the kid was actually able to survive on Isla Sorna for 8 weeks. Somehow,
How did he collect the T-Rex?
it's
Yeah.
not in
We
this.
wanted,
I want to know that.
They're never going to let us know.
We probably just like scooped it from the puddle.
Also, how does every single child read? What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah.
Ooh,
Dr. Malcolm,
Yeah, every
and
single
yeah,
book.
his books, yeah.
Every single one is like, oh, we read your book, so we know everything.
Even though the books are for, like, PhD level, like, people, I should, alright, yeah, we're able to read
Hey,
it.
the kid was smart.
Yeah, I read Jurassic Park as a kid,
Hey,
so...
what about the other little kid from the first one? Is he supposed to be that smart too?
Alright, now, you were mentioning last time the wife. Played by Tara Strong. Alright, so, Taylor Leone, yeah, you were mentioning the wife.
Yeah, she was on.
Every time
agree
she
with that.
said,
She-
Eric!
She made
Yeah,
it was
constant mistakes.
Oh, that's
What's a bad idea?
Yeah,
Do a
on the
megaphone.
megaphone.
Let's bring a megaphone of all the things to pack. Not a first aid kit. Let's bring a
Remember-
megaphone.
Remember the telephone every time it went off because the T-Rex like ate it or
Wait.
whatever, or the Spinosaurus ate it.
I got one. How did they hear the phone, but the other people didn't hear the phone? They heard it in the inside the Spinosaurus,
I
but
thought
they
that
didn't
was
hear it.
funny though.
It didn't make sense. The whole movie, Jurassic Park 3, just doesn't make sense whatsoever.
It's so, I just
Listen, the
watched-
first 30 minutes of the movie great.
It was good. Then
The Spinosaurus snapping
Was
T-Rex
badass, right?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's
It
how you
was-
introduce a new dinosaur.
was
You take
kicking
out
ass.
the top guy, and that's what he did.
Snapped his neck.
Thank you.
Just like that. Now he's the king.
But,
Exactly.
What's your name was still stupid though. Let's see. Dr. Grant and Billy didn't go and do any research on the Kirby
Billy.
Foundation.
How about the
Yeah.
fact that
He's
Billy
the one who
like
took the egg.
Steals
right?
a
steals the eggs?
Yeah, like-
Velociraptor egg.
Yeah, like I mean, like if you're gonna do this, you gotta do two things.
His lucky
Look at
pack.
the people who are gonna give you the check for this money. Go cash that check
Yeah.
before you even go. And also, how do you throw the mercenaries? He got no money.
Yeah, how about the fact that it's like we're stuck on an island, the one person you call is like Ellie Sadler, the person from the first
The
movie.
person
No.
that he should have married.
Call a kid.
Oh, we have to
It's
talk about
Dinosaur
this.
Man.
And Barney in the background.
How about the fact that Ellie and Alan never got together? That's
Oh,
another reason why I hated Jurassic Park 3.
yeah.
I liked how the premise, they at least tried a different take.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
But-
kid, it's a survival story, they go back to look for him, he still survived. There's a new
basically one and
badass
two.
dinosaur. I liked it.
Yeah, but
It's not as
then
good as
after
the
that,
first two.
after the 30 minutes, it just drags.
slowly
and
started to
drags and drags.
Remember when he's asleep, and then you see the rat, he's like dreaming, and the rat just
Oh,
Alan!
Alan!
That was pretty creepy though, I'm not gonna lie.
Now, I wish they had more dream sequences.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
cool.
wish they would have had 2 more.
And then they were trapped in the plane in the tree, that was cool.
Yeah.
They should have survived
Oh,
that
yeah.
plane crash.
It's right here
And
on the
I-
back.
I feel like they were redoing the scene with the cars, though.
Yeah.
Just with the plane.
Yeah.
The animatronics are just not on point in this
The
one. You can
CG was
tell,
bad.
yeah, the CG,
CG
was
was
bad,
bad.
and the Spinosaurus just
How
looked
did
super
CG
fake.
It's a different director. So.
Yeah, but how does CG go down from like
Yeah, it
1 and
doesn't
then
make
2?
sense.
Then it's like 3 is like
Like, you can
This
definitely tell
was like 2001, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
2001, yeah.
Can we talk about how the raptor snapped that with his neck?
Okay, so the
Oh,
Velociraptors in this
Which
movie
ones?
That
are
was
highly
awesome.
intelligent.
Mr. Noodle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Noodle from Sesame Street
Elmo's
also is in
World.
this movie. Twisted his neck. Hands down,
That was
like,
first.
one of the,
No,
like,
first they used him as
bait.
a
used him as bait.
To
Yeah.
try to lure the other guys.
The
in.
Raptors were intelligent.
Yeah,
And
and
then when they
smart.
got away, like, alright, you're dead.
Some of the raptors had like spiky hair. I mean.
Yeah, it was John Horner, who's actually a paleontologist. He said himself that raptors are actually more like birds.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
So they would have the
Yeah.
feather, and that was the matureness of like the male. Which I think the scientific cut. Now, these raptors were intelligent until the very last sequence when Alan just comes
Right,
in with
he
his
has
little
that,
horn.
yeah.
He's just like, oh, and the raptors, even though they physically see it right there in front of them.
Remember the scene where they find the old, I don't know, they found like the old building, and they're in there like getting like stuff from the vending machine or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go past, there's like pods, and
And
it's
the
just like a
raptor's
raptor
head.
like kind of staring. You think it's dead, and it just jumps
yeah.
out. That got me too.
No,
Like
that
when I was
got-
little.
That got me too.
I still
I
want
was
to
like,
know
oh shit.
why didn't you just, or just even not even hide, just jump out? Could have just jumped out from the beginning.
It's a predator.
Yeah,
That's how
it's being
smart they
smart.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How they get Billy first before they got everyone else?
Nothing about this movie makes sense at all. Nothing.
Pterodactyls? They already left the island. That's not going to be
Oh
explained.
yeah, they were
before.
just. flying
Oh, how about
free.
the happy ending where like, the same things that killed us just fly off into the distance?
But that's not
And we're
gonna-
playing the Jurassic Park theme, so it's beautiful, even though we're gonna go kill some people.
See, that's looking too much into it. You just gotta sit back and take your hat off and enjoy.
You can't
it.
have two
That's not
movies
why
where
we-
they actually have these practical rules where like they actually apply to life, and it's like these are the consequences of everything that happens, and then get to 3 when
I'm
it's not
excited.
taken seriously.
Another thing that I thought was dumb, where they're all trying to get to the fence, and then when they turn around, the Spinosaurus is just
Yeah, chilling.
standing there staring at them. I was like, why aren't
Didn't
you
it bust
charging
like right
now?
through it?
How about the
And
when the
then he busts
Spinosaurus
through the fence.
but then can't get through the door?
Or jump on top of the roof and go in?
Yeah, I don't know.
And that brings us to the anticipated Jurassic World. 14 years after the third movie, we're finally getting a Jurassic Park 4. Now, my anticipation for this movie is kind of... It could be here, but it's like right
I don't
here. Now,
You are
we'll get
crazy.
into
It
it
is crazy.
This is the only movie I care about this year.
until
Flat
Force
out
Awakens
say it.
comes out. Chris Pratt is in it, Bryce Dallas Howard. The cast itself is good, and the direction that it seems it's
Already
going
hate
in
it
are
before you
okay.
see it. You can't.
But I have to say that the idea of the Raptors, you know, like riding along with Chris Pratt.
See that? I think that's cool because it's something totally different.
But that's the thing. Like, what do you guys feel? How do you guys feel?
And then
about
they're gonna have a hybrid dino.
First off, I can't wait for the movie.
Yeah.
But
You hate Chris Pratt.
like I said before,
Why do you hate Chris Pratt?
the reason why I don't like Chris Pratt
He's too
is because he reminds me of Jack Black doing like the over the top acting, and I just didn't like
Would you have
that.
liked
I
it
think
when
he's
he
gonna
was
be
Jack,
perfect.
when he was like
But
when he
I'm
was
gonna-
fat?
But I'm gonna give him a chance if Jurassic World is good.
This is like Chris Pratt's the next thing.
But
He's
as far as him
amazing.
riding with the Raptors, I want the Raptors to attack everybody.
Maybe they will turn on him. Who knows?
No.
One of the Raptors killed a guy, and then on another scene, the Raptor was his head went through the driver's seat of a car and it was
Yeah.
attacking
I'm assuming like
the redheaded lady.
it's gonna be hard to get them to be obedient, but I think we'll get them.
I anticipate this movie basically to be like a little bit like Deep Blue Sea, has some of the elements of like communication between each other, and it's going to be the hybrid that's going to actually bring these.
I can't wait to
dinosaurs
see
together.
like what
The
that's gonna
T-Rex.
be like.
Well, that concludes our review of the Jurassic Park trilogy and the further installment of the Jurassic Park franchise. So, be sure to look for our review on the site coming shortly. Until next time, I'm joined here again with Cadillac, Keels, Rashawn, and Newman.
And the Raptor.
Be sure to like us on our Facebook page and also subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Like the page on Twitter at Guys Night Reviews and our Instagram page. Also, for being our 100th like on Facebook, Jeff Dunning, you've earned yourself a free Guys Night Podcast t-shirt. So be sure to look out for it. So, remember, until next time, this has been Jared Avery, signing out.